Hello again, this is Lazouche Custom here. Okay, quite a while back now I built this particular pistol, which is the Miller Custom made 1911 that was done for Chris Costa. And at the time I couldn't exactly do what I wanted to do with it, which was mainly to deal with this area, which is the flared magwell extension, but technically it wasn't an extension to the overall length of the frame. It's actually built in, as you can see, or at least I hope you can see. I'll bring this up closer to the camera. As you can see, the mainspring pin hole is actually integral to the magwell extension. So in other words, it's actually within the length of the overall height of the grip of the frame. It wasn't like most magwell extensions, which are an adjoining section to the base of the mainspring unit. This was actually part of the frame itself. Well, at the time I thought, oh, I don't know, I don't really want to attempt it. I just want to make sure that, you know, the gun goes together okay. Well, I've had a bit of an experiment, and lo and behold, I've managed to do it. It was tricky. I can't say it wasn't, it was. As you can see, or at least hopefully if this camera will focus, there we go. As you can see, I've added the base area to it. I'm going to manoeuvre the light around a bit to give a bit more light, there we go. Yes, I've put like a lip all the way around the base of the frame. Now, for most of you out there, I doubt you'll be able to do this because you need a donor frame, namely this one. Poor old thing, but it's been used for all sorts now, including my Devil Gammon pistol, which I explained in those series of videos, how I used this section and the forward section. But for this one, I used this section here and the lower part of the frame, because as you can see, the actual frame height has been cut down, so this whole section has been cut off and attached to this. Now, how I did it was those two bits that I've cut off the bottom of that other frame, I cut them into strips, filed them down, and then literally just glued them and pinned them to the base of the main frame, the actual grip part of the frame. Now then, this front curved section, how I've done that is, again, using a section of this, cut that off, and then just glued it within the two side sections, just glued that in. But it wasn't enough to give me that protuberance out the front of the frame, because as you can see on there, it comes out quite a way. So I thought, right, okay, what else have I got to do? So luckily enough, I had a bit of an old slide knocking around, so I cut two sections out. There goes my phone again, and I just stuck them on to the front section of the magwell. So I just stuck them on there. Now, I was going to use super glue, but I thought, no, I'll see how well I do with just using this stuff again, which is Mr. Cement. Now, usually this is just for plastic kits and so forth, but it's obviously got some sort of additive in it that if you use it quite liberally on this particular ABS plastic, it does eat into it and starts to actually melt the plastic. In fact, it will eventually eat it away. So I thought, right, that's what I'll do. So I used this, I liberally coated it, stuck the pieces on, drilled and pinned it first, and in order to get the mainspring pin hole lined up, I actually used the mainspring pin itself, slotted it in on one side, pushed it through so it came through to the other side, held that in place, drilled the two holes, pinned it, and super glued the pins in, mind you. But the rest of it, I just used this glue, and then just glued each section on, and done each side section, i.e. these two pieces, separately. So I glued that one on, used a mini G-cramp to hold it in position, which, if you're not sure what a G-cramp is, well, I'm sure you are, I used one of these, which I just literally attached like thus, cramped it down and held it in position. So as I say, so it was pinned with super glue and metal pins. Pins were put in, which is just like wire, like this stuff. That's the pins. I just cut that to length, super glued it in using my where's my super glue? Using the good old Zap-A-Gap glue. So I used that, and of course the Mr. Cement glue as well. Glued it all down, put it liberally on there, and just left it to dry. Each side was glued independently for 24-hour drying between each side, and then the front section was done again using this. So but instead of, well, I put like a rounded piece in there because otherwise you can't get a flat edge on it for this to hold. So I put a round tube in there and just held it with that, and it just compressed that onto the front of the frame, and it seems to have worked. It stayed in there. I used my good old MMD Squadron filler, which is this stuff, just along the edges, because obviously you've got to fill, it's hard to explain really, but the base of each of these frames have got a slightly flared mag well. Well, of course, when you stick those strips onto this flat-edged base of the grip, you're going to get a line down there. Hopefully you can just about see it on the camera there. So that has to be filled. So I filled it, made sure it was okay. Then once that was done, I then began to use a Dremel and files and just gave it a more flared effect, which hopefully this camera is going to pick up, although I don't know whether it will or not. I'll brighten it up a bit. There we go. As you can see, it's flared on either side. See that? It's actually flared inwards. So there's a lot more hole there for when you're slamming mags in. Now then, one other thing which I must tell you. Some bits everywhere. Right.
You will be advised.
Someone's definitely after getting hold of me. Right, okay. Is on a magazine, especially the MEU mags or whatever, is you've got this thick base pad, and it sticks out quite a fair way from the front edge of the magazine. So when the magazine goes in, if that went in or whatever like that, and this was, you know, without this cutout, it would hit that and it wouldn't lock up. It wouldn't go all the way up into the frame. So how did I overcome it? Well, as you can see, I've dremeled out a lip inside there so that as the magazine goes in, it seats just up inside. See, that's where the magazine clip would go, and it seats just inside. Alright, so hopefully you can just about work that out. It actually sits up inside there. So it works, it actually works. I've tested it, I've put a magazine catch in there, and it does work. So yeah, but you've got to be aware of that. If you don't cut that lip out and it only gets to there, it's not going to go all the way up, and thus, actually if I show you, do that, that's where it would be. As you can see, the magazine lip catch is below the actual hole. You want it to be up to there so that it catches. Alright, I have tested it, it does work, so there you go. So you just need to Dremel out that section there. So it's got to be the same diameter as that. Hopefully you can understand what I mean. As you can see, it's got to be that diameter. See how that slots up in there? It's got to be that diameter, and it's got to be that depth in order for it to allow for these magazines to fit. Yeah, so there you go. So it's been done. All I've got to do now is respray it. I've swapped over the front Risrael onto a new frame, which is what I was experimenting on doing this. This has taken quite a while actually to do this, because it's been like a sideline, a hospital job for want of a better word, that I go back to now and again just to sort of keep plodding along in the background. So that's why this has had to be refilled and will be resprayed. But, oh, by the way, the original frame, or whatever, this frame is from a Foliage Warrior. So, yeah, so you don't have to worry that it's just a Foliage Warrior, because you will need to attach the Risrael, obviously, so you'll need the holes. But yeah, so, as I say, this has all got to be fitted now to the original Miller Custom pistol that I built quite a while ago. So that pistol will be stripped, and all of this will be attached to it. Now then, other little updates that I've done. I'll leave all those bits there, move those bits over there. The other little update that I've got for you guys is, which hopefully will show up on, where are we? Let's get the other picture. There dear, should have had all this organised beforehand. Still, never mind. Right, the other thing which I noticed on the original Miller Custom pistol, let's darken it down a bit, is this cutout here. Hopefully you can see it on the video. It's actually got like a rounded front section to the ejection port. I've got a feeling it's obviously put there to stop any jamming whatsoever, so any spent cartridge that comes out will not get hooked on that front lip. Not that it ever would anyway, but it's just in case. So the guy, Miller Customs, who actually built this pistol for Chris Costa, has cut that section out there. So I thought, right, I'm going to give that a go. So yeah, I did. And there it is. Hopefully you can see on the video if I brighten it up a little bit. There we go. As you can see, you can just see the cutout there. So it's got to be exactly as the real steel. As you know, I'm a bit of a stickler for getting it exactly right. So yep, so that was cut out, as you can see there. All I did was Dremeled it and then just gently filed it and used polish and so forth on it to make it look the same as the rest of the plastic, and it's come out pretty good. So that's another little thing that I did. The other thing that a lot of you have inquired in is whether I'm going to do the lightning cuts along the top of the slide there on either side. I have got a post drill now, but I haven't got the facilities because I only work out of a small room. I haven't actually got a large shed yet, which is hopefully going to be coming soon. Then I'll be able to set up all of my machines and so forth and tools and whatever correctly to be able to do these lightning cuts, because you need a post drill to be able to do it, which is an upright drill. You clamp your drill in, and on the bed you put the slide in, and you literally just manoeuvre it along in a straight line underneath the drill bit, which then just gently drills out these lightning cuts along the top, which means I can also possibly do flat top slides as well in the future. But as I say, it all depends whether I get my shed built and yeah, lots of other things that have got to be done. So, but there you are. So that's why it hasn't been done as yet. But to be quite honest, I don't like lightning cuts. I think they just, I know they're obviously for a purpose. They're meant to lighten the gun up because it's a metal gun. It weighs quite a bit, so anywhere where you can save weight is handy, except for where it's needed. But being as this is a plastic weapon, it doesn't really need lightning cuts, and I think it detracts from the overall look of the pistol, the 1911. So I won't be doing them for now. So it will just be as it is with a round top to it. But for the rest of it, for the magwell extension, for the rear sight bits that I did to it when I originally built the gun, the cock insertions fore and aft, the ball cuts to the chin at the front there, the different style RIS rail, obviously the cutout now in the front of the ejection port. These are all bits that I feel make it look like the real steel. Now then, one other little thing which you might have noticed is the original gun, when it was first given to Chris Costa, it had just these standard alien grips on, which are the ones with the checkering on the front edge and just lines or diagonal lines on the rear edge, which were okay, they looked okay, but I got a feeling he had problems with the ambi safety not fully disengaging. It was just touching the top of the grips, I think, because as you can see on this picture, or at least I hope you can see, he's had a cutout done on the top of the grips, and these are 10/8 Hilton Yam grips, because it's got his little Chinese logo thing that's on there, or whatever it is. There's like a little logo which is on there, which I think means 10/8 in Chinese. I'm not sure, it might be a numerical thing, I don't know, but as far as I know there's like a little Chinese logo on there. But he's also contoured the back edge near to where the thumb safety is there, and obviously the grips have been allowed to go over the magwell. Problem, what the hell am I going to do with my grips? Well, that's what I'm going to do with my grips. These are standard TM grips, i.e. they've got the metal in them to give the pistol a bit of weight, because the original grips that I used, if you remember, were alien grips, and these ones that he's fitted now, these Hilton Yam ones, are just purely checkered. They're not the alien ones, they're just checkered grips. So I've done, hopefully you can see it on the camera there, the little Hilton Yam logo, which is actually on the metal. I sprayed the metal white underneath, cut a little hole in the plastic and just painted on the little logo. I've now got to seal that in with varnish, but it's an indent, so yeah, it just gives a bit more extra grip as well, which means you'll never wear it off of the grips because it's actually on the metal underneath, it's not on the plastic, so you'll never wear it off. I've also contoured the top as per the contour on the top there, so that's been done as well. And I've allowed a cutout in the base of the grip so that it will fit, or should do, he says. There we go. It should fit perfectly over the, if I turn it around that way it's easier for you to see. There we go, so it should fit perfectly over the top of the Magwell extension. So there you go. I hasten to add, it is not easy doing this Magwell extension, it's a lot of work. But I think it just makes it look good, and it's totally different to anything on the market at the moment. No one produces anything like this. Yeah, no one does. Not as far as I know anyway, on the airsoft scene. Although knowing that I've now done this, I expect Prog 4 or someone out there will start to produce a frame such as this. So yeah, so who knows, because a lot of them, since I started doing my different slide serrations fore and aft, I notice a lot of the mainstream manufacturers or aftermarket mainstream manufacturers have started to produce different slides. I just wish and hope that they would produce slides with blank faces, but they haven't done that yet, but who knows. I think Prog 4, if you're willing to pay the dough, will allow you to do, or will produce for you a custom slide of whatever design you want, but obviously you've got to have the money. So there you go. But anyway, yeah, so coming back to this, as I say, it's all custom done. Nothing else in the world looks like this, other than obviously the real steel pistol. But yeah, this one is totally custom built. So there you go. So it's just a few little updates that I've done to the Miller Custom pistol. Having the metal weights in these grips, this is the other side by the way, which is just a standard grip other than the cutout at the base, because again it's got to go round the Magwell extension, and of course the little emblem that's in there for the 10-8 grips that Hilton Yam produces. So yeah, so that's on the other side. They've yet to be painted black, as I say, they've all got to be sprayed and painted, and then I'll spray it with a coat of clear varnish as well, satin varnish or whatever, because the real steel pistol isn't like a matte finish like the plastic is. It's actually satin sort of finish to it, or at least looking at decent photographs it looks satin. So I'm going to give it a satin coat, and also it will help with the wear and tear on the paint. It won't wear off so quick, especially on the Risrael when you're putting torches on and so forth. Anyway, so there you go. So that's the project. A little update for you with regards to the Miller Custom. Hopefully it will work okay when it all comes together. The original frame or whatever has been stripped. All the bits that were in there are now in a bag, ready to be fitted to this when it's fully sprayed. Anyway, thanks for watching, and as I say, hopefully this has given you some ideas as to do stuff yourself possibly and have a go. It's a tricky project to do, the Magwell extension, it really is. So I wouldn't recommend it if you're a novice or are just getting into customizing pistols or whatever. But if you have got a spare plastic frame knocking around or whatever, plus the one that you're working on, then obviously give it a go. You can't go wrong really. You will need a spare plastic frame. You could get away with just using the frame and just using the curved sections to do the front of the Magwell extension. You could do that. I mean, I've used bits off of an old high capper slide, but yeah, you've got to have spare parts to be able to do it. Bits that you're not worried about that you can throw away or whatever, or you're not worried about cutting up. I keep everything, as you can see, because this has been used on about 3 different projects now. The slide, the frame and everything, they've been used on other projects. This was an old high capper slide I had knocking around. As you can see, it's been cut about and all sorts done to it. It's never ever going to be used as a slide again, but it's handy to keep these parts, so keep these parts. there goes my phone. So obviously the person who wanted to get me on my mobile wants to get me on the landline. Right, okay, this is Lazouche Custom saying bye for now and thanks for watching. And remember guys, stay sharp but stay safe.